Hello.
Hello, Mr. Bill Cobbs. How are you? It's Eric Raddatz.
Yeah, I'm in. I just need to, I guess I need to put myself in.
Yeah, I hear you. I can't see it. I can prompt your video screen though, so give me a second. There's Jesse Z.
Hello.
Got Jesse Z. How's it going?
Good.
Excellent. Good. We got Bill Rogers and Bill. There's Bill Cobbs. How you doing, Bill Cobbs?
Right.
Bill Rogers.
There.
Party.
Jesse.
Bill, good to see you. Bill and Bill. Wow.
Man. Hey, Bill Cobbs.
It's a double billing.
All right. How you guys?
Well, how are you?
Living large.
I know Bill Rogers and I are in Florida, right?
Yes, definitely. Fort Myers.
Myers. And Jesse, where you coming in from?
I am also in Florida. I live in Pinellas County, Clearwater area.
Okay. And hey, Bill Cobbs, how are you? Like, we can see you, but we can't hear you, so I'm going to prompt your audio. Now I can hear you. Hey, Bill Cobbs.
How you doing?
Good. How are you? So honored. There's a
Well, it's good to be reunited again, huh?
It feels so good, like the old song says.
Oh yeah.
It's reunited, and there's John Biffar.
What's up, everybody?
Wow.
Well,
Hey, John.
I think you're all late to the set. Didn't we start filming?
Banana George took us down the wrong road. We got
That sounds like George.
Oh,
Well, I know nobody drinks here, so cheers, everyone.
got the club soda going, but maybe I will have to get some wine. I think this is wine worthy. I should. Yes, I'm going to get some wine.
I'll get it.
That's
Okay.
appropriate.
My wife is bringing me some wine. That's very sweet of you. Thank you.
Right.
Wife. So, listen, I'm so honored that you are all here. We still have about a minute before officially 5:30. So if we want to wait a little bit to make sure anyone else isn't coming, I don't expect this need to go too long, maybe 25 minutes or something like that. So if you guys have that time, just want to talk a little bit about Captiva Island. Unless John says we should start now. John, you mentioned a couple others like Flip may join, or who else are you waiting on that you would think might be coming?
The great cinematographer and artiste Philippe Menot said he may join. I'm sure he will. And then also Spencer Lasky, the gaffer who famously shut down the entire set because he got pissed off and unplugged all the lights to an entire street. Remember that, Bill?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
I don't remember that.
You were at a bar when that happened.
With
We're
Paul.
probably sitting next to Bill Cobbs, but we won't talk about that.
that was an outdoor bar, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was. Yeah. Hey, Jesse, you're looking good, brother. It's
Thanks.
a minute.
You too.
Yeah, I guess we're supposed to save all this because we're too soon or something.
Content. Yeah, you're blowing our
Can we
content.
actually start talking now, Eric? Are we okay?
Yeah, I'll get started. Hey, everybody, I'm Eric Raddatz. I'm the director of the Fort Myers Film Festival. 2021 is our 11th year in Fort Myers, and we are very honored to screen the finest film ever made in Captiva Island. It is called Captiva Island as a Throwback Thursday on Thursday, May 13th at 6 o'clock, viewing down at the Sidney and Berne Arts Center. We'll be screening this film. Those of you who have seen it know it's amazing. Those of you who worked on it have stories to tell. We might get one or two now on this reunion. And those of you who are wishing to see it, you have an opportunity to see this at the Fort Myers Film Festival. Again, May 13th, Thursday night. A Throwback Thursday film at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have with us some of the cast and crew, and they're all famous, and some close to me, and others I wish to be closer to. But without further ado, the writer and director, Mr. John Biffar joins us from his Peace Vision headquarters in Fort Myers, Florida. John, maybe if I could introduce you, and then you could give the most appropriate and honorable introductions for Mr. Zeigler, Cobbs, and Rogers, and Manu as he arrives. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being a part of this Zoom Q&A reunion for Captiva Island. John, tell us a little bit about who we have in the room and a little bit about what you want to talk about.
Well, Eric, I really haven't thought about what we want to talk about, and I'm most honored that everybody that is here with us came today. But I have to correct you. You said I was the writer. Bill Schreiber was the actual author of the script.
Oh, I'm sorry.
A little story by credit maybe, but
yeah, you did have a story credit.
Bill Schreiber. And
Okay.
then Bill Schreiber came to us by way of Bill Rogers, who happens to be with us, the other producer of the film, along with Paul Bush and the Kagans, John and Liz Kagan. So I want to give a shout out to them. They're not here, but of course, the big stars, and I say stars plural because we have two of the big stars with us today. First and foremost, Mr. Bill Cobbs. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Well, thank you.
We're not worthy.
Well, it's an honor to be here, and honor just be in this illustrious company once again. It was a rather roundabout path we had to take to get together this time, but I assure you, I'll try to keep it clear.
Awesome to see you. And now I'll introduce Jesse Zeigler, who I haven't seen Jesse since we made the movie and did a premiere somewhere 20 some odd years ago. And now, Jesse, I hear your kids have never even seen this film and you're going to come to the screening.
They haven't. So this is so exciting for them
This is awesome.
to get the chance to watch it. They haven't seen much of the stuff I did when I was little, you know, so they're pumped. I told them I was doing this today and they're like, what? You know, they still haven't made the connection, but kids, you know, even me at the time, I just want to say what an honor it is to be here with you, Bill, today. When I was 12 or 13, you know, I had some idea that you were famous. I knew that you were a great guy and a great actor to work with. And then it's one of those things that after the fact you go, holy crap, I worked with Bill Cobbs as a kid. So what an honor it is.
Thank you. I'm equally honored.
Thank you.
You know, we would of course be remiss if we didn't speak of some of the great actors that were in this film that are no longer with us, but looking down upon us and watching over us. First and foremost, Miss Norma Miller, who almost made it to 100. Bill Cobbs did the narration for her feature documentary, Queen of Swing, and did an amazing job. And Bill, you'll be pleased to know that we're developing her screenplay for the new feature film about her life, and want you to participate in that as well. And then also the great Ernest Borgnine passed away, obviously. And my favorite memory of Ernie was after the movie, actually, when he was on Fox and Friends, and somebody asked him the secret to his success for living in the 90s. And he reached over on the set of Fox and Friends and he whispered in the air and he didn't think he could be heard. He said, I masturbate every day.
Oh, God.
So that was the great, you know, Ernest Borgnine. So let's remember those folks. And of course, Arte Johnson from Laugh-In also graduated. So he's also looking down on us. But we're all still here. And Jesse, to get into, I want to get back to Bill, the illustrious film career that he's had. But people that may not know, Jesse, when I first met you, you were the star of Swamp Thing and you were in the movie North. Tell me about what it was like for you to be a childhood actor and now you're out of the business. What was that transition like? And what was it like when you were doing all those big roles?
You know, I sort of fell into acting as a kid. My little sister was doing some modeling and I decided I wanted to try it at about 8 years old. You know, and like most child actors, my experience was probably mostly one of traveling a lot, driving a lot, flying a lot, and a lot of rejection, you know. But I did have some lucky breaks and people who believed in me and worked hard to advance my career early on. So I got great opportunities to work with great people. It's a big and a really neat part of my childhood experience now. There are also things that, you know, you become grateful for, like all the time I got to spend with my mom that not every kid who's in school all the time got to. So being able to be close with her, with my sister as a kid and travel around with lots of great folks. But yeah, I just, as time went on, I kept pursuing it. But when I was about, 14, 15, I decided it was time to like finish a year of school, and I got into playing music and doing other things, and eventually just wound up on a different track entirely. So now I'm a labor union organizer with the teachers, working with teachers, public employees, health professionals, and I love it. I'm still a Screen Actors Guild member though after all these years. Of course, I don't work, and every once in a while I get like a $12 check for something I did when I was 10 years old, but I'll take it, and I'm a proud union member. So
Jesse, are you still playing music? I remember you in the trailer playing that guitar.
that was so many good musicians on that set. That some of my best memories were sitting in the trailer with people showing me different tips and tricks on the guitar. I don't play much these days. I played live out in bands. I had a band called Pulling Birds in the Tampa Bay area for years when I was a teenager. I had a band called Swayze when I lived in Gainesville for 7 or 8 years through college and grad school, and had a lot of fun with it. We did a couple reunion shows in the last couple years, but I don't pick it up much anymore. Maybe play silly songs with the kids, but it's
How old are you?
Future.
How
My
old
kids are
are you?
7 and 10. I have a 10-year-old daughter named Lila and a 7-year-old son named Zeke, and they're in first grade and fourth grade.
Now, John Biffar, I just want to interrupt because I know John Biffar is so close to this, and he's going to be very modest. But I want to direct a few questions to start at you, and then Bill and Jesse, please weigh in. The conception of the making of this film, how did it come to kind of the genesis of it? How did you get Bill Rogers and Bill Cobbs and Jesse on board? And what are your memories of shooting back? And when was it shot? 94?
94.
Came out in 95, right?
Yeah.
Well, Bill and I were partners, and we had traveled the world together. We had some great adventures. I can remember filming with Bill in Costa Rica and filming these turtles for a show called Environmental Heroes. And back then we were trying to put a spotlight on what was happening with the environment. And we may have been a little ahead of our time, but Bill and I have had great adventures around the world. And I remember being with some Aborigines in the Australian outback with Bill. And we were literally, that's where the name Dreamtime Entertainment came from, is because the Aboriginals were telling me about the Dreamtime, and that's where all the stories were passed down. And that's where all the creation actually came from. And I was thinking, wow, that would be a pretty cool name, like Dreamtime Entertainment. So that's how that actually came to be when Bill and I were in the outback in Australia together. So then we were just like thinking, hey, we have all wanted to make a feature film. Flip Minot, who was supposed to be on this call, our director of photography, was very much part of that trio. And we all just were really passionate, saying, hey, we know we can make a movie, let's do it. And it started off being a small budget. Well, if we're going to raise 100, we might as well raise 200. And if we're going to shoot it on 16, we may as well shoot it on 35. And it just kind of blew up bigger, and it all happened. It all came together,
Take me down the road of casting. I mean, here I know Bill Cobbs. You guys have been friends for a while. Were you friends before this, and you brought him on, him and Norma, or is this where you guys met, or?
Well, Morgan Freeman had turned us down, and so then there was only Bill left. Oh no, that's not true, is it, Bill? But Bill tells that story a lot, and let's give this man some due. Captiva is a beautiful kids film, but the dude that you're looking at now has been in some amazing film, The Bodyguard, New Jack City, on and on. Let's hear from Bill. What was your favorite film that you produced of all time, Bill, and why?
Certainly working with you and Norma and all the wonderful cast and crew. After Captiva, what was it we did after Captiva?
We did her feature documentary about Norma.
Right, which was
Queen of
extraordinary.
Time. Still airing today on PBS, actually.
Oh, wonderful! Because it's an education.
Yeah,
it's an education. I have to say I'm honored for the experience that we had together, and that you did choose to have me become a part of it. I've learned so much about Florida. I've learned so much about the Native Americans and the American Indians, or the real Native Americans. and that whole history that they had there. It just being around you is an education. I'm gonna tell you one little story there that, that one of my real blessings hanging out with you. Naples is a very notorious city,
Yeah.
and I met some guy in the bar there when I was back, when we were together.
Every now and then.
Every now and then, yeah. So he invited me to go down to Naples with him, with him and his wife. And so I said, okay, well, all right, we'll go. And we went down there and we met some Italians. And they came over and introduced themselves and said hello. And they were all dressed in black, driving these big limousines and whatnot. And his wife was kind of a nut. And so
This is some guy you just met?
yeah, some guy I met him, and he and I had met, some time ago, and but then I just met his wife on this trip. Anyway, she was a very strange woman, but the Italians said, "Listen, we're going to take you around. We're going to show you what are those things on the beach? Those bars on the beach that they
Kiki huts, yeah.
yeah." So so anyway, to make this a long story less less long, we hung out with the Italians. They invited us to go out with them, and this lady somehow had the audacity after we got back. She was arguing about where she was going to sit in the limo. They took us around to different places on this evening, and when we got back to where my car was, she really went off on these mafiosos. I got in my car, man, spin out of there. She was just nuts. She was totally nuts. Those are the kind of experiences I had hanging out with you.
Well, I'm known to attract the crazy ones. That's probably true.
Let me get this straight. There was a snooty, crazy woman in Naples who was concerned about where she was going to sit in the limousine. I find that real hard to believe.
Yeah, she was arguing about she wanted to sit in the front seat.
Oh,
Front seat of a limousine, okay.
I will get the front seat in the limousine.
Which was, I found that interesting.
Must have had the hots for the chauffeur is what it sounds like.
I think that's what it was. Yeah. Yeah, she was a very interesting, unusual person.
Did you say that was mafiosa? Were they part of the mafia?
The whole thing, the black suits, the whole works. Yeah.
Oh, how did you? So you almost
They
got
took
involved
me
with the
to-
mafia, Bill Cobbs.
I know. It was.
I don't want to hear about this lady from Naples. I want to hear about when you and Danny Glover got your start in the business and what you were doing before you got your start.
Okay. Well, Danny Glover and I, we worked together on Broadway in a play by Ato Fugard, famous South African writer, and so. And also, what's the other wonderful actor's name? Anyway, Danny and I were working in a play on Broadway by Ato Fugard, and one day somebody ran down the street. We were in New York City. Somebody ran down the street just as Danny was coming into the theater, and snatched a woman's pocketbook. Danny took after that guy, ran him down the street, a block or two. That guy threw that bag away as quick as he could and came on back to the theater. That's my fondest memory of
Another story about you and a crazy woman.
a crazy.
You and another crazy woman.
We won't go there, but that's been my history.
Hey, I was thinking maybe John, that could be a film you do.
Running
Bill Cobbs and the crazy woman.
No, I think we're coming past that thing.
Okay.
To get serious for half a second, though, Bill, what's your take on where we are in the country right now, and what role, if any, do you see the arts playing in that narrative of where we are right now?
We're right back where we started. We never left it. We just changed its shape and form. And the arts are among the, well, the arts are just as important today, and even more so as they've always been, because we're the messengers. We're the people who we have to bring the positive attitudes to people. We have to show what really is inside of all this discourse and disagreement and this hatred and give it some kind of basis so that people can look at it from a different perspective, that they don't just see the outcome, but they understand the beginning of it. What brings about these feelings? What in our history has made it such as the way it is? Because it just keeps coming back over and over again, and that means it's a pandemic, an ongoing pandemic that we just have to keep fighting as long as we live. We all have
That's
to.
a movie. I'm sure that's a movie you're tired of seeing.
John Biffar, allow me to mention, because I know you're modest, what you've been doing in the realms of peace vision along these lines. When you asked Bill Cobbs this question, I know that a lot of what your passions are is the importance of the power of art and film. And while Captiva Island was a feature and a love story and locally shot, tell me a little about peace vision and how what you're doing is changing the world for better.
Well, thanks for asking about peace vision. It is my passion right now. The idea behind it was pretty simple. We just said to ourselves, everybody has an idea of what peace is. Some people, it's just the lack of war. But we looked at it and said, well, what takes peace away from us as individuals, right? So if you're sick and you got cancer, you're not at peace, right? So that was one of our vertical markets. So, and if you're in a bad relationship, you're not at peace. That's another one. And if we're all living on a planet that we can't breathe the air, that's another one. So what we decided to do is put a light on these things, talk to some experts in these areas, and give people some help to get, because we all need help and we all want to be at peace, I think. And part of what Bill was just talking about is another thing about all of us coming together and being at peace. And that's where, for me, I love Gandhi's line, which is be the change you want to see in the world. And today, media, it seems to me, and for many years now, many decades since I started, it's a race to the bottom.
Just funny. Got it on my coffee cup that I'm seeing you're drinking out of, John.
Oh man, see, Jesse, it's been 30 years that we're on the same page, right?
Yeah.
So that's what Peace Vision's about. And we hope to bring, stories and entertainment like we've always been, and trying to use our craft for a little higher vibrational level. So check it out, peacevision.com. And if you subscribe, you get a free Peacegram every day, which is a positive message with cool video and music behind it. And I think you'll enjoy it. Good way to start your day.
Bill Rogers, a little bit on, thank you, John. Bill Rogers, we haven't been talking to you a whole lot. Maybe, I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the scenes. As we watch this movie, we're seeing a lot of scenes that were shot here, Fort Myers, Captiva, or any of you want to speak to the locations, because we're going to see, 1995 Southwest Florida, which was different. Like,
Wow.
did you play at the Coralwood Cinemas? Let's see that.
Yeah, we had several theatrical releases. So that was at the Coralwood.
Mm-hmm.
And look at some of these locations.
Do you remember the names of kind of like the places, the restaurants and the,
No, that's not really much. I was in the back trying to get everybody paid and make sure the numbers added up. That was more my thing. But we had a little post-production at Century 3 and a little custom music recording going on at another studio in Orlando.
Yeah, well, Bill's modest. He didn't mention that he did quite a bit of the soundtrack for Captiva as well. He's an amazing musician and did a fantastic job with our soundtrack.
That was a lot of fun. It really was. And Amy sang the song at the end, which was beautiful.
Yeah, tell that story about Amy Bush.
Which one?
Well, the one about her song, her singing.
Well, she's a natural singer, of course, and we wanted to feature her in some really special way at the end. And Paul was 100% behind her blossoming in more ways than just an actress. And so we wrote this song together and made it the ending where the credits rolled at the end of the film. It's quite beautiful. Such a great singer.
It seemed like a real united kind of group. It seemed like, as fun as it was to watch the movie, I kind of wish I could go back in time and hang out with the crew. Was it as much fun as it seemed?
We didn't have a lot of experience at that time, so we were more or less kind of paving the road as we drove on it, following John down the highway to 150 miles an hour. Yeah, it was a great trip and a lot of fun. And I think it worked out really well.
You know, it's set in a time too where there was no, the love story kind of takes place, or the young love, where without social media, without telephones. You know, we all remember the day back when you had to give a call on the landline, and if they weren't there, you know, you had to go back the next day. You couldn't text them. How do you think an audience in 2021 will see this? Will it appear, you know, antiquated, unable to understand, or do you think there might be some people now living there like, I wish we could return back to that time because it was so much simpler for anybody? Or
Bill Cobbs can answer that.
Oh, I think all of the above.
Yeah.
I think all of the above. I think people will appreciate seeing what it was like back then, and I think now we're becoming accustomed to this new medium, and we're becoming more and more, good at it. And now there's there's no story you can't tell. You just find new ways. I think we're seeing more engineering and creative ideas than we've seen in any period in a long time, because people are finding new ways. I'm amazed with what people are able to do. Fortunately, I keep people around me who can just hold my hand and guide me through what's going on. So
that's the best way to go.
Yeah.
If you, Bill Cobbs, if you had your way and you got to work with John Biffar again, and Bill Rogers, and sure Jesse, what would that project look like? What might there be something that you'd like to see done?
I'd say not much, not different. Every time I think of, of course there's Captiva, but then when we did Norma's story,
okay,
I just see her sitting in that open, in that, well, I'm talking about the car, and
yeah,
convertible, yeah,
yeah, which was a big
Beautiful.
big star in the movie.
the flying fish, yeah.
And just see her talking. Just, I hear her voice, and because she could go on and on. Unlike me, she could just, once she got wound up and got started, her stories just never ended. She could she could give you stories from beginning to end, and from beginning to no end, actually.
Well,
Actually, Bill, one thing we forgot to tell, Bill is the host of a new comedy special that we did with Norma when she turned 95, and we haven't released it yet. And we did a few interviews with Norma right before she died, and we've decided to recut that show.
Awesome.
And call it Norma's Last Take, and kind of cut between her stand-up act and her last interviews, because they were so on the money. And, there's just like so much to be learned from that woman, about, as her mother used to say, when you ain't got a horse, you ride a cow.
Yeah.
and that's Norma, right?
Yeah.
It's find it interesting that Bill Cobbs reflects on what he thinks, just speaking with Norma, but Bill, you turn that around and you have, me speaking with you. I mean, I would like to see John Biffar do a documentary on your life. Are you keeping, memoirs? I mean, can we do the Bill Cobbs story?
Well, it depends on how much I can remember. I remember the whole thing in pieces.
Yeah, that's all you need.
You know what's so crazy that you said that, honestly? Because I was thinking we have to have Bill come to the premiere, right, in May on the 13th. And while he's here, let's get that story, Bill. Let's get that on camera, whatever it is you do remember. We should do that.
Okay, I tell you what, I promise you, I'll sit down and start writing now.
Thank you. And let's do it when you're here. We'll film it during the film festival that week. Spend as much time as you want.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I'm truly honored.
You know what?
I get a little embarrassed because we've always, I never can quite believe just how much well, I've been honored in this business. I'm gonna cut this phone off. And excuse me just a second.
Go ahead and take it.
Yeah, take the call.
Take the call.
Let's
Okay.
we want to hear.
Put it on speakerphone. We'll participate.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's probably a crazy woman.
Hello? Of course it's busy.
I told you not to call me here.
We were just talking about you and the seat you wanted in the limousine in Naples. Stop calling me. It's been 25 years.
I'm not taking you. But anyway, I'm just I'm overwhelmed, but right now more so than ever I've been in my life, and humbled more than I've ever been in my life. That so many people remember me and are always so kind to me. It's and I'm not, I'm not faking humility at all. I'm certainly not that good at humility, but it's just I guess if I write about anything, I just have to write about how honored I've been to live this life and to meet the kind of people like you all that we can look back and say, we saw this, we did this, did wonderful things together, and we saw real appreciation in one another. We had some real friends and some real colleagues and people that we respected and who we were blessed to be respected by. So,
Well, one of the things that Eric asked was, what was the vibe like on the set? And I don't know about you guys, but I had more fun than I ever had in my life. And there was like totally freedom, right? I mean, Jesse, for you, what was, you hear about all the different vibes on different sets. What was it like for you as a child star?
It was utterly corrupting, was mostly how I describe it. No, it was wonderful. And from the minute I met you guys, when I drove down for the first audition, my mom and I left going like, we want to do this. We got to do this. This is going to be great. And that just persisted. Like, there were families around. There was a little bit of that, like, no restrictions, kind of, doing whatever we needed to do on the fly. But it was just a ton of fun from hanging out with Amy. We were the same age and enjoyed time together, and just all of you guys, and being close by to my hometown also throughout, let the whole thing be a family experience. So really meaningfully to me, my grandmother, who's now 94, my Nana, is in hospice care at her house just a few minutes from here. And I got to be over visiting with her today. And she and my grandfather had been involved even. My grandfather came down, granddaddy, who passed years ago now, and we played golf at Fiddlesticks with some of y'all and with Ernest Borgnine and Arte Johnson. And he told that story every time I was around him for years and years, about getting to golf with those guys. And my grandparents came to the premiere of Captiva in Fort Myers. And so telling my Nana today that I was coming to do this tonight and that there's going to be this showing of the movie, she was so excited and remembered so fondly that her part in that experience. So that embodies my experience of the whole thing, a very family, fun oriented thing. Although I did remember today that I was promised all this Florida fun during the filming of the movie. We did parasailing that I barely got. You got me like 10 feet up because you had to be able to film me. So I never even got to do it. On those ultralight planes, we were hanging from a crane. So I never even got to fly in the ultralights. So I was promised this plethora of Florida experiences and I feel owed. So, well, next time.
John,
Watch the movie. You're way up there, man. What are you talking about?
Maybe John Biffar can arrange something when you come down, if you come down for the screening.
Hey, the one guy that we all owe, the fact that the movie ever got made is because of one guy, and that is Paul Bush.
Yeah.
Without Paul, none of this would have ever happened, and he's just such a beautiful guy. And we hope that he shows up. I think he will for the premiere. He said he wanted to come. So he's our executive producer. And here's to Paul. Thank you, Paul.
Cheers.
Way to go, Paul. Thank you.
Cheers.
And
Eric, we're supposed to hang up. You're gonna have to pay us extra. We're gonna
okay.
keep going.
Well, we'll leave it on that note. And cheers to Bill, John, Jesse. Thank you guys for being a part of this fun Captiva Island reunion. Again, we're at the Fort Myers Film Festival, playing a Throwback Thursday this May 13th at 6 p.m. at the Sidney Berne Davis Arts Center. We'll hope to see you all there. Safety first, of course. We're conscientious. Those are wearing masks and we're sanitizing. So if you can, make it great, but safety first. Love you all, and I love what we got here to talk about. I can't wait to see what comes next. Thank you guys for being a part of this, and we'll hope to see you soon. Be safe out there, all right?
See you guys.
Thank you. Really good to see y'all.
Really good to see
Everybody. And I'll be sure to have some wine with me next time I see you.
Hell yeah.